other places in the universe in which there are evil forces who try to destroy planets, and the defenders of that planet engage in Star Wars, and there are high weapons.
Let's wait, please.
Rephrase it yet again.
So let's go back again. Once again, what we see in the movies, such as Star Wars and whatnot, does that actually exist on certain planes?
Some of what we can see in movies such as Star Wars actually does happen in other dimensions and other points in the universe. In other galaxies, there are Star Wars in which negative forces, negative ETs, try to destroy planets and enslave populations, and the planet has to defend itself with high technology weaponry. This does happen. The second element of the Star Wars is actually happening on Earth now, and this is the true Armageddon. And really, this is between the forces of love and the forces of fear. The negative extraterrestrials spread fear and doom and helplessness, and the benevolent extraterrestrials try to offer hope and self-trust, love and kindness. And when an individual feels him or herself falling on one side, following fear or following love, they can be sure that there are unseen forces that are also encouraging them in that direction. So for those who are doing good work, there are benevolent extraterrestrials cheering them on and giving them inspiration. And for those who feel suicidal and self-destructive, angry and fearful, there are negative extraterrestrials also who encourage them to feel worse and hurt themselves.
How much does the government know about this type of thing?
I don't have documents and hard evidence, but I believe that the government has direct contact with extraterrestrial groups, has technology, and has been in relationship physically with extraterrestrial groups at least for 40 years. And I also believe that there will be disclosures and there will be information coming out as to what they know very, very soon. And at that point, it'll be very important for the peoples of Earth to understand, number one, this is for real, and number two, who the players are and the difference between fear, disempowerment, versus love and self-trust. Because we'll need to make our loyalties clear as to which extraterrestrial groups we side with and who we follow, because the reality of extraterrestrial life is going to be extremely public with indisputable proof in the very near future, I would say within the next 1 or 2 years.
Why haven't UFOs made themselves more visible to more people so that to help ease the work of extraterrestrials on this planet?
Benevolent extraterrestrials follow a cosmic law which prevents them. Okay. Yeah. Are we ready?
Yes.
Benevolent extraterrestrials follow cosmic laws which prevent them from intervening physically and directly in the fate of societies and nations as a whole. Benevolent extraterrestrials will respond to a call for help, but if very few people call, and if the leaders of a government are confused or are not benevolent, positive extraterrestrials will not come here publicly to help the planet. They're here subjectively, spiritually, at all times and helping in many, many ways, but they cannot make themselves public because it would interfere with humanity, and basically it would actually hurt the majority of people who are terrified, scared, and uninterested in the greater life around Earth.
But a tangible UFO sighting,
The
why not more, not contact, but just proof?
Many people in America don't know that there were some of the most public and well-documented UFO sightings over Mexico City earlier in 1995. These were seen by dozens of people and captured on video by many, many people, but it was completely blacked out in the U.S. All UFO researchers in America know about this, but the media has been almost completely unwilling to show it. There are and there will continue to be UFO sightings. In my opinion, the vast majority of those UFOs are either negative ETs who have broken through a quarantine or are government ships, human-created UFO craft using technologies that the government denies, our government and many governments deny that they have. Positive extraterrestrials do not show up in ships in waves of sightings, because that wouldn't serve the purpose of helping humanity. It's simply not useful.
Let me run through a series of questions about the existence of of an ET, being of an ET.
Whatever you want.
As a wanderer or a walk-in, were you ordered on a mission or here free choice?
ET walk-ins and ET wanderers or ET souls all are here voluntarily. All of us feel that we're here to help the planet through love, kindness, and wisdom, clarity. Nobody was sent against their will. Some people have definite missions as to founding communities or teaching particular material. Many of the ETs have no definite mission, but they're here to help. And again, many of them will be found in your local church group, or in the police athletic league, or in the hospital, or in the mental health center helping people. They're all over the place, and most of them don't know they're ETs.
Are you aware of your extraterrestrial appearance outside of the human soul? The human form that you take?
My ET appearance.
Like, if you're an extraterrestrial soul...
Oh, I can tell you my appearance.
What's that? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Are we ready with the camera and everything? Yeah. My extraterrestrial appearance, or my form, before I took birth in a human body, was as light. My race, my level of development has transcended the need for a body. We don't have bodies. We are beings of light. We have light bodies. These are the true light workers. And many of the older extraterrestrials on Earth are also from these levels of light. In fact, majority of wanderers, not the children, majority of the old-timers who've been on the planet many incarnations had no body before they came to Earth. They were also beings of light. The ones that we see in the media with the little gray bodies and the ones that are the Palladians, they have bodies because they're not much further advanced than humanity. This is a very important point.
Very good.
In fact, we could do another show on ETs bodied and disembodied. The higher ones have no bodies, and bodies unimportant.
Can you freely come and go from this body?
I do travel out of body, although I'm not an adept, or I'm not as proficient as I'd like. I can travel out of body. I've had many out-of-body experiences, but I'm not at a master level of that skill.
Do you ever expect to return to where you were from originally?
In my book, we have a chapter on death. And death is a very important thing for all people to consider, but for the ET souls, it actually is the homecoming. Most of us realize that at the point of death, we will be going home. Many of the ET contracts, the agreements to be on Earth for a certain number of lifetimes, are coming to an end now. Many of these ET souls are going home after they die. That's why many of us are awakening to our identity and origin. All of us will go home pretty shortly.
By a bigger design?
Most.
Is there a time designated for ETs to go home?
Most of the extraterrestrials who will leave Earth, who will go home, will simply go after death. Whether it's a natural death or any other type of death, they'll go back then. There is no design for when all the ETs are going home, but when the New Age does begin, and there are definite dates for that, it's considered that the New Age will begin around the year 2010, 2012, which coincides with the Mayan calendar and some very important pieces of channeled material. At that time, only the extraterrestrials who are closer to the level of Earth, closer to Earth awareness, will be here. The majority of ET wanderers will go home at that time.